Hello, everyone, and welcome to Jump Up Supercast, the only podcast on the internet where we're going to be a new world in Kingdom Hearts 4. I'm Will, and joining me this week, Brandon.
I hope that everybody is wearing their Jump Up Supercast t-shirts in this world.
Ills.
I want to be the final boss of the world.
Noah.
We need to make the merch first before we actually can wear them.
Muzamil.
I really thought that Brandon was going to start by singing Simple and Clean, and I was really looking forward to it.
And Saf.
What the fuck? Why do I have all these zippers on me all of a sudden? Who asked for
Very
this?
good. Very good. I was expecting Simple and Clean too, to be honest. My brain was in that.
You know what? As much as Fuck Ill's initiative has been going on, I didn't want him to cry, and we didn't need
It's a
that.
fucking
By the way,
terrible
minute
song.
35, marked now, first curse. We did it.
I blame
So-
you guys.
I think
how
I
are we
got
doing this week,
I
boys?
got the honors 2 weeks in a row. I'm feeling really good about
No,
that.
Saf said it first. He's like, what
Oh, he
the?
did?
He's like,
Yes, I did.
yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
shit! Damn it!
Oh, dang.
Gotta be
Brandon, the
fast,
streak's
motherfucker.
over.
Can't beat the master of swears.
I'm
You can't
sorry.
take the crown for Saf for too long, you know?
The man loves to curse. It's in his blood. How are we doing this week, boys?
Fucking great.
Fantastic.
One week you're gonna say you're doing bad, and I'm not gonna know what to do. But so far, so good.
Every week.
Uh,
I'm doing bad, so.
Well, with ills that's the norm, so I'm just working with that as the baseline.
Yeah. So relatively, it's good.
Yeah, as you could hope for. But we're gonna, this is one of those weird things. We're just gonna get straight into the news, to be honest, because there's like a million little stories, but there's one big one that is, it's amazing. It's the maximum possible time from it, like, coming out as a piece of news and us potentially talking about it. Friday
I
morning,
was so mad.
we get a video uploaded to Nintendo's YouTube page, and it's an update on Metroid Prime 4, and everyone's like, what? And it's just a white background, Shinya Takahashi in his suit. He's the head of like software at Nintendo right now, basically, right?
Mm.
He shows up at E3 every year. He says, "Hey everyone, we showed you Metroid Prime a couple years ago. We're so thankful that you played our games." It sounds like he's about to deliver like some really bad news.
He made it sound like they were canceling the game, honestly.
Yes. And technically they did. It's a weird thing.
Sure, technically, but like...
Metroid Prime got delayed, but also it kind of got canceled and announced again in the same video in its own way. Because he comes out there and says, "Hey, we were looking at development. We hold ourselves to a certain standard. This isn't holding up to it. We think that the development process itself is flawed in this game, so we're restarting development. We're scrapping everything. Retro is now the team with Kensuke Tanabe, who is the producer on the game originally, and has been the producer for Metroid for a while, and they are starting development all over again. And, we apologize. We are sorry. We'll see you in a couple years, basically, to talk about it again." And of course, when I first read this in text, and I was like, oh no. But partially because of just the badness of the news, but also because people are reacting, people are passionate about Metroid, right? It's a series that has been on the ropes. And so I was like, oh no, this delay could really sort of dampen the sales,
Or
of the whole...
mood, right?
Yeah. When I mean sales, I mean like a ship sales, not like how much it will do with the
Okay.
market. I should clarify. But just a kind of a bummer of a situation. But I think people have been shockingly understanding about this whole deal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think it's because they were so honest and upfront.
Yes.
About it. There's no hiding, no secrets. They're just straight up with everybody. I think people respect that.
Yeah.
I think that's
Metroid
100%.
I think Metroid has recently had this history, right, of like, fans have been fuming, right, in a lot of ways. Like, when Federation Force got announced, it was nasty, Other M came out, and it was a bad product, and people were angry, But, like, when this announcement, I saw, it was funny to actually compare to the Federation Force YouTube video. The like ratio on the Prime 4 video is crazy high. It's almost entirely likes. I think on the internet, people are pretty happy about it. And I think this is for a few reasons, right? I think that, number one, Retro instills faith in people, right? Like you hear
Yeah.
Retro Studios, and you know these are the people who made Metroid Prime. Sure, you could say like a lot of people who made Prime aren't there anymore, blah blah blah. But they still have that heritage. And even the non-Metroid games they made, the Donkey Kong Country Returns and Tropical Freeze, are amazing games. You know, Retro just
Sure.
naturally instills this confidence that, like, yeah, I think this will be a good game. You know,
Yeah.
and then the other thing, I
That's-
think, to directly compare it to another game, right? And that's Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy VII Remake did a similar thing where they canceled development, moved it to an internal studio, right? But they did it in this weird hush-hush way, you know? They, like, it came
Mhm.
through like a press release. They didn't make any fanfare about it. They didn't, you know, they weren't very clear of, like, development schedule being delayed or anything. They were just like, yeah, you know, like, we just moved it to internal. But, like, they didn't really give any details. And so
I mean,
now
we
it's
talked
just-
about this last year on the podcast, right? Like, there is a new cloud design in Final Fantasy VII Remake that was showed off that we have no idea what it looks like almost a full year later.
It's just this weird air of secrecy, you know? Whereas Nintendo is out
Yeah.
here being very open. Hey, development was not going smoothly. We shut it down and we started over with Retro, you know? And I think people
Yeah.
respond well to that transparency. People respond well to that honesty that, hey, you know, it didn't work out. And also, I think in the message, they conveyed one thing in particular that I think made people feel better about this whole situation of not coming out for longer than we thought, is that they made it clear that we want this game to be quality, right? Not only that, we want this game to live up to the heritage of Metroid Prime. And I think when you are explicitly saying that, you just feel more at ease, you know? You're like,
Yeah.
okay, like I'm more understanding about the situation because you could tell they want this to be a great game.
Yeah, I was about to mention that. Like, from a PR standpoint, like, they made the right moves because they're taking control of the narrative and they're giving you the story themselves instead of it coming out through, like, random rumors coming from insiders, etc. Like, given the rumors about the development of this game prior to it being taken to Retro, it was supposed to be a bunch of different studios that were working on different parts of
Mhm.
this game. So I have no doubt that it would have been very easy for one studio somewhere to just make mentions like, oh, it wasn't going too well. And that sort of rumor just kind of like sticking out there and like spreading around like wildfire. And people starting developing doubts about this game itself simply because some developer had mentioned that it wasn't going too well. And that's the kind of thing that no one else is saying anything beyond that. So the
Yeah.
fact that they've stepped up, the fact that they were exact and straight to the point with it was actually really good in terms of like controlling their narrative and
Yeah,
controlling the
you're
hype.
right that if this had got out in any other way, we would be talking about this and be like in a slight panic mode,
Mhm.
right? There would just
Yeah.
be the thing of like, oh, how is this? You know, what's going on? And I think also they didn't make excuses. There was no like, I mean, we heard that we only know because of LinkedIn stuff that Bandai Namco is probably helping work on this game,
Mhm.
but they didn't name them by name. Like they didn't name the studios that were working on it, which is good, right? They could have taken the chance to say, man, those people over there, huh, screwed it up real bad. We're gonna fix it for you. Like that's classy that you don't do that, you know?
Yeah, and then for the most part, they made it clear, like you know, we made a mistake in ways. Like they weren't really necessarily blaming the development team. They're like, hey, like it wasn't going smoothly. Like they're not putting fingers on anyone, but they're like, you know, yeah, like this stuff happens, and so we had to.
Because they were
we had
trying a new
just have to
development
rethink our
process,
approach.
right? They don't normally do that
Mhm.
multi-studio stuff.
Yeah, it's
Um,
something that you see from like Ubisoft and studios like that, but like as far as Nintendo goes, they're not really used to that model, and so it was interesting in the first place to see them try it with Prime, but clearly, like,
Yeah.
I think clearly they see that they don't have the expertise to do that, especially to try that with the product that's gonna be as
Yeah, with a product that everybody's like has high hopes for.
yeah, like Prime 4, like there's high expectations there, you know, there's like definitely
And they're aware of it, and we get that we're aware
Yeah.
of it now, which is good, right? And because I think Metroid as a whole is just sort of a series that has in the last decade really sort of structured has hunted to find the identity of what it looks like now. You know, like Metroid Prime happened and 2 and 3 happened, and they were clearly in the image of Prime 1, but they were well received. But then, you know, Other M happened and people have qualms with it, and then, you know, Federation Force, and then I think the biggest like return to form was by doing a remake. I think that taking time to say, hey, we need this to be a success for Metroid as a series to have a longer tail future is honest, and I'm happy that they're as aware of it as we are, you know?
Yeah.
But it has some. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I'm so curious, like how badly it was going that made them take this drastic a step. It seems
Well,
pretty
I
drastic.
know, right?
That, like they
I mean,
scrapped
'cause-
everything, and it was like, back to square one.
I mean, it it can honestly be that there was just one studio where it was going bad, right? Because like there's there's stuff where like generally we heard about people were rumoring about it coming out at the Game Awards, right? And that didn't pan out. But you could see where like some people there were in one studio it could be going well, then so in a whole other country another studio is on fire, and when it comes time to like put them together, you're like, well, this game doesn't work. It fell apart, you know. And
I mean, from the way it sounded, it seemed like nothing was salvageable. Like they were just going right back to the beginning. I don't know if that's
I think
true.
it's
It's
less
just
of
what
a-
it
yeah, they're
seemed.
fully scrapping it.
See, I think it's less of a statement on like how bad it was or whatever, but just more that Nintendo realized like this was out of their scope. You know,
Sure.
them kind of sitting back and realizing like
Not good enough.
like not good enough. That and also just like I mean just this way of developing, just maybe like they're not used to it. It's like and it wasn't working for them. You know, like maybe there was communication issues. You know, because we like from what we heard, it's like there was some places being developed in Singapore, some places in Japan. You know, so like
They just generally felt that they could do a much better job than what's going on right now, and they just didn't want to be sloppy about it.
Supposedly, Retro pitched them a really strong like a project plan.
Demo?
You know, so that probably definitely helped in making the decision. You know, so.
I think it was interesting to talk about because there's implications here for everyone involved, right? But I think this is actually, good news for Retro on almost all accounts, right? Because from the beginning, when they heard that it wasn't Retro, people were always had doubts, right? It's always going to be that way. But I think that, we heard the Star Fox rumors last year. Who knows if the Star Fox racing stuff will pan out? But I believe that Retro's been working on something for the last 6 years that is eventually, going to come out. That's not Metroid Prime 4. And it would indicate to me that if they're in a position to start up working on Metroid Prime, that's probably pretty far along, if not,
Also,
nearly completed.
yeah,
Almost done.
yeah. Also, not to mention, it's like I remember there was like Miyamoto interviews where he would always pick up Retro as like a company that could handle more than one project at one point. So it is you kind of feel as though like they would be able to do these two projects at the same time if they are doing these.
Though I don't know if they're actually because like you said that, but we've never actually seen like the fruits of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well,
but like
if I the stuff that we've heard about Retro, because there's they're an American company, so there's a journalist can actually like talk to them more easily because they speak English. Was sort of like, oh, there was a new IP they're working on, and there was two projects basically. One of the projects fell through, the other one didn't, and the rumored other project that didn't fall through is Star Fox. Who knows if that's real? But either way, I think that whatever it ends up being, it will now have better reception because you won't have the question of you worked on this instead of Metroid Prime. Like, oh, you worked on this Star Fox game rather than making the next Metroid game. It's like, no, they worked on the Star Fox game and now they're working on the next Metroid game. You know what they're working on next.
Yeah.
You can enjoy this for what it is.
Do you know what?
Yeah, because one of the things that Nintendo fans constantly like are like anxious about is what's Retro doing? What's Retro doing? What's Retro doing? And a lot of, like we saw with Tropical Freeze, right? It was kind of met with like, well, I love Donkey Kong, but damn it, like you could be doing so much more,
Yeah.
And so now whatever it is they released this year, let's assume it's Star Fox, right? They really, I think we can assume whatever it is, it'll probably come out this year, right? I think it's very close to wrapping up if they're working, if they're just not starting on Metroid. When they announced
the
this
Revenge
game,
of Gino.
when they announced this game, it's no longer gonna be filled with like, you're doing this, it's just I think people will be more receptive to it because it's like, okay, well, at least we know their next project is Metroid, so it's like
Yeah.
it works really well for Retro for sure. I think Retro is in a really good position right now.
Yeah. And I think that Nintendo's also able to do this, by the way, in a way they couldn't do in any other era. Like, we're not getting too much in the details, but Nintendo had their third financial quarter releasings this week. They're making more money than they have in any time that wasn't the Wii and DS era right now, right? So they're in a position where they can take the time and say, you know what, it's like a Blizzard during WoW situation, right? We can just restart development on this game that we spent years working on because we don't think it's up to our standards because we have enough money to where we don't have to worry about that as much,
War chest.
The war chest is filled.
Well, like, I mean, I don't want to harp on this too long because it goes into boring, like, nitty-gritty stuff. But, like, outside of even the war chest, it's like they are making a ton of money this year, you know, in the Switch era. And it's interesting in particular this year because this year the 3DS was non-existent, you know. Mobile was, like, kind of floundering, you know. So, like, they are this healthy off of the Switch ecosystem alone, you know. Like, the Switch ecosystem is incredibly profitable for them. And
so it means that, you know, it's that thing that we talked about when we first talked about sales, which is that the sales are important because it gives them money to make the games, right? And like this is an instance of that. Where in the Wii U era, we saw them put out games like Amiibo Festival, where it's like we have to get a game out this quarter. We just have to do something, you know. Star Fox Zero, we have to finish this game at some point, you know. And now with Metroid Prime 4, they can say, no, we're gonna restart. We're gonna take our time. Which is nice. But overall, I mean, maybe, you know, depending on who you ask, bad news, good news, there's different ways to take it. But I think overall they handled it, like Saf said, from a PR perspective, well.
Yeah.
One of the things I want to say is the other real exciting thing for me, at least, as just somebody who really likes the history of games in general, a little bit down the line, we're going to get somebody's going to do some sleuthing, and we're going to get some unreleased footage of the Metroid Prime 4 that could have been. And like that actually is super interesting to me.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see what that's
Look forward to an art book.
Get Liam Robertson down to Singapore to get on.
He'll crack the code.
Yeah.
I mean, but I'm also happy that they never showed gameplay footage that we're gonna compare the eventual Prime 4 to. You know, like it's good. This is the proper way for this cancel game to have like a decent legacy, you know?
Yeah.
In terms of just like people being of interest of this little side note in their history. But speaking of you know, going from good PR moves to bad PR moves.
Can I actually, before we do this, because I want to get something off my chest. Because personally, this is a bad PR move. And the reason why I think that is because January 14th, 2019, the world was exposed to a young child trapped in a grown-ass man's body's vision of the future of Metroid, where it was supposed to come out in fucking 2020, but it's not even been a month yet.
I was gonna say.
Not even been a month yet, and they fucking ruined that dream completely and wasted my prediction. Like, what the fuck is that shit?
I meant to mention, you were too optimistic, Saf. We thought you were too negative. You were way too optimistic.
Unbelievable. Not even a month. And already I'm proven wrong.
Not even a month.
Couldn't wait till fucking after E3.
Saf is the first.
Suck it.
His prediction is the first one we could cross off as not happening.
And it was I thought it was one of the more likely ones. It's the saddest thing of all.
I still have
in Gino.
I still have
Gino?
E3 with Mother 3.
You still have Mother 3.
Yeah, it's all good. Still have Mother 3.
Yeah.
Mother 3 still.
It's always. He's been working on. He's still polishing up his English. He's getting ready.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be proven right, guys.
The Geno retro character action game. I still believe. But you know, speaking of good to bad PR moves. Metro Exodus, right? We've mentioned this a couple times when it first got announced. Epic Game Store, right? We discussed this. We didn't mention a couple times in the past. There's been a couple games that are like, hey, we're not on Steam. We're exclusive, at least for a year, to Epic Game Store, right? Mm-hmm. And this has always been met with like kind of tepid responses because sometimes, you know, if it's just like a business deal, people don't like third-party exclusives, right? Like if it's because it's then limiting the market. Mm-hmm. But Metro has been hit in a particular way because it's interesting. So we mentioned at it's sort of a coming together of everything. We mentioned that that the developers get more of a cut on the Epic Game Store, right? So they come out there and the team at Metro says, "Hey, we're pretty cool right now, guys. Got some good news for you. We're going to be $50 in the Epic Game Store." Mm-hmm. So you know we're taking those savings and we're passing them on to you, the consumer. But we're also not going to be on Steam. And they were like extremely proud of themselves. They were feeling it, and everyone's like, "Wait a minute, this game is coming out in 2 weeks." Because it's coming out in 2 weeks. And people were like, I already had it pre-ordered on Steam. What's the deal with that? And they said, don't worry, we're still gonna give you the pre-orders that if you pre-order it on Steam, you'll still get the Steam version. So then everyone's like, well, you're still putting it on Steam then. It's just you're not letting me buy it now after this dumb announcement.
Oh, man.
Yeah, man.
That's... Yeah.
Okay, here's my thing, though. I think, I'm gonna spin it in a more like positive way, I guess. But I, and maybe I'm not giving people enough credit here or whatever. But like, if you already pre-ordered it on Steam, you're good. You know, you're getting the game still. So like, and the game. It sucks that they just pulled it without any notice. But like, if you hadn't pre-ordered it yet, it's not really affecting you. You know. I mean, maybe you just really wanted it on Steam later on, but like,
I mean, you could literally just cancel the pre-order and pre-order it again on the Epic Store.
And it'll be $10
I mean,
less.
the thing is, but I think that in general, this is backfiring on Epic in a way that they didn't expect, though.
Well,
People are
I
feeling.
don't understand the problem. It's
I
just
just
a
think
different launcher.
No, I get it to an extent. People want their games on the platform that they desire.
But you have to understand, like, it's like anything. I mean, it's like anything where it's like people. There's exclusivity deals when it's like just 2 weeks before the game came out, you basically get this deal together. That's a clear play and a ploy in a way that people will look at and just see as like a sheer backdoor deal, right? And that's
that was not right.
Yeah, and that's the thing that sucks about it, right? Like Division 2.
But like, to be fair, also it's $10 cheaper.
It's $10 cheaper, but it would have been a pure positive headline. We would have just said, hey man, Epic killing it. Look at this. A game's cheaper on Epic Store than Steam Store if they just hadn't had the exclusive part, right? Like, the positive side of this, the thing that will draw players to your thing is the cheaper product, not the exclusivity, right?
Sure. I think that's fair. I think that, like, you know.
The only bad thing I can actually see, like, being, like, happening is... Metro's a multiplayer game, right? Or is it just pure single player?
No, I think it's single player only. I think it's
single player only? Oh, then there's not really. I was thinking like maybe it would split the player base, like for the multiplayer.
That's not a concern at all.
But also, I mean,
if that's not the case, then
I think that there's a way to go about getting people on your platform. Epic is doing the smart things, right? We've said the positives, but I think it's fair to say that these exclusivity deals aren't, you know, I mean, it got to the point where THQ Nordic, the Twitter account, made a comment essentially saying, hey, this was all on Koch Media, the people that own Metro. We didn't make this call. Not on us, guys. They like backed off it super hard. And then the CEO of THQ Nordic has to come out today, apologize for that comment, say, no, actually, we love the Epic Game Store. Like, you know, it's just this rigmarole to it.
It is a big PR mess. Like, it's a big PR mess. But like, I just think I think, to be fair, I want to make clear. I think that if you're upset about this, I think that's fair. I'm not going to get after you for being upset about this, right? But sure. I do think it is, in some ways, fair to say that there is some bad faith actors, right, who see this headline, even without intention of getting Metro, but because they have this seething hatred of the Epic Game Store, right, they use that. They use that, and they use it to talk about why this whole thing sucks. Right, I think that is a thing.
They just want to get outraged for no reason.
I think there's a clear subset of people who want their games only on Steam.
I mean, right? I mean, the problem is that's the underlying aspect of literally all video game conversation is that there are fanboys for everything, right?
I think what makes the conversation around the Epic Game Store so annoying, though, in particular, right, is because it really is like you cannot have this conversation without pissing someone off. You know?
Yeah.
And like,
you can have it with me because I don't get it.
No, that's the thing.
Well, I mean,
it's
but
like
you
a
can
PC, right? You're just playing games on PC. It's just different launchers to launch your game. I don't
sure, but people are bought into ecosystems, right? I mean, that's just part of it. And also, it's the. I mean, you can say, "Oh my god," but like, you know, it's like anything. Brandon, you play on Xbox rather than PS4, you have both because you like the achievement system, right?
No,
like there are people that are invested in their Steam account in that side of things.
I guess,
but there's a different barrier to entry there. I mean,
but functionally they're identical for Brandon, right? He has both consoles. Like that's
for him, but not for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, like, even when everyone has all consoles, they'll have a preferred platform.
People who want their Steam achievements, there are people who want their rank to go up or whatever the hell.
The
right?
trading
sure, I mean, it's just people have preferred platforms.
Steam
That's the thing, right?
And you know, you have your friends list. I get it to an extent. I just think that like it is overblown.
But I think it's a thing. It's overblown, but also I think that it's worth mentioning.
I feel like
this whole
I would
thing
be
is a PR
pissed
play
more
on
of
Epic's
the
part, right?
sudden backstab from the company more than anything.
Yeah,
that's it.
I mean, Division 2 got announced a couple months ago. It was not nearly as much of a backlash because Division 2 is coming out in 5 months, right? I think that part of it is just they made sort of the wrong play at the wrong time for it, you know? Like, this deals take time, I understand, but 2 games before release to, like, have this type of stuff is weird. It's a weird thing.
Yeah, if they did it like months and months ago, that wouldn't been that much of an issue.
Yeah.
I'm wondering now, like, would like the idea of like exclusivity become like a bad word for companies now? Because like every time there's always
I think on PC it might be.
On PC, absolutely.
PC maybe.
Yeah, on PC it's absolutely a bad word. I think that people would much rather have the choice. And I to an extent also I agree that like there should be choice in the market, right? You should be able to pick. But I think like in Epic's defense, right? Like they need to get people off Steam to ever get any sort of traction. Like it's just a matter of fact, right?
But I'm not sure that exclusivity is the thing that does that, right? Like, you know, and I mean,
but that's the best way. That is the way that.
Do we have things that are responding?
You want the game? If you want to play that game, you better get the Epic Games launcher. I think
I mean, but Fortnite is that, not Metro.
No, but like Steam is such a behemoth that like I don't know how else you would compete with these guys.
I mean, they have 125 million users because they
footing.
They already have. They have 125 million users because of Fortnite. They have better business practices. They are getting positive headlines in general outside of this. And that's how you do it.
And Steam is already like going through like its own shit show of like poor creation.
Yeah, like just don't hurt yourself with a thing that you think is good news but isn't. Is sort of my takeaway, right? Like, and I think that they're going to make note of that. Epic is pretty self-aware, and I think that the backlash will probably make them reassess how they view exclusivity stuff.
Would you have preferred if they kept the game on both but left it at $60 on Steam?
Yes, that's I think 100% the correct call.
I mean,
Yeah,
that probably would have been the best thing.
Yeah, but I think people would have flipped out at that though.
Well, no, because I mean they explain in their press release we decided to pass it on to you. Like that's,
I agree. I feel like that would have been the better call, but I still feel like people would have been upset about it.
Yeah.
The internet's going to be upset over anything.
Yeah, but there's different scale of stuff, right?
Enough.
But it'll be a much better position a much better thing for Epic Games and the developers.
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, and the people that were mad at that point, you would be able to kind of sift through the people who are getting mad for no stupid.
Yeah, because it's like
where there's like some validity to this, I think, with versus that situation, right? Like, there's not a ton. There's bad faith actors for sure, but I think that there's enough here to be like, you know, there's a conversation to be had also about like exclusivity deals in general. When it's not like because you'll always bring up Bayonetta 2, but Bayonetta 2 wouldn't get made unless Nintendo funded it, so it's a different thing.
Yeah, because like exclusivity is just always tied in with the connotation of like it's taking something away from you. For whatever reason, that's always the connotation. And it's like giving out a discount is just like giving something away to you, giving something to you. So that would be the big difference here in regards to like whether or not it should have been exclusive, or whether or not it should have been exclusive.
Yeah. So I mean, there's I think there's validity to the people who are annoyed at the anger though. But Saf, you said about things that have been given to us. Mm-hmm. You know, it was given to us this week.
Was it?
Just randomly in a patch notes, Piranha Plane has been added to Smash Brothers.
Don't use it
okay. Yes, public service announcement. Well, the thing is, don't play All-Star at all right now, because people discover that it's a problem with every character.
Yeah.
It's a big issue. It can corrupt your save and like ruin your game.
But you can recover your save if you have Nintendo Switch Online.
Oh, good. No, that is such a sinister sentence. Oh boy.
Stop being a cheapskate. I mean, who the hell has Super Smash Brothers but doesn't pay for Nintendo Switch Online?
I know, what the fuck.
Yeah,
there's people.
There's people. But either way. But anyways, Piranha Plant though, he's cool.
Yeah.
He's cool.
Oh, I love Piranha Plant. I played him yesterday.
Cool.
It was so fun.
He's a fun character to play for sure.
Downbeat is so fucking broken. Like the fucking.
And as the internet wrongly thought for a good couple hours, it's not a she.
Wait, what? No, she isn't it?
Okay. Oh, well,
Palutena calls it a she.
It's stupid. It doesn't matter. It's a plant.
Who cares?
It wasn't talking about the Piranha Plant. It was just funny with the internet for a few hours.
But like, but like, even if you want to call Piranha Plant she, who cares?
No, I just thought it was funny because everybody thought that, and then it was like, oh wait a minute, they're talking about Veridi. Whoops.
Oh, they are actually talking about
that happened a couple times with Smash. People thought the Ice Climbers were talking. But it is funny that just in general, he's the perfect bonus character, you know? Like he's exactly right for what he was. And because we talk about him a lot, but just in practice, he feels unique because he's this like tricky character. Like I think of the tricky archetype in like Mario Tennis, you know? Like he sort of has that role of just like, man, I get hit and I feel like I've been outsmarted and I feel very dumb.
Yeah, he's a trap character. Like his playstyle revolves around like baiting your opponent, basically.
Yeah.
And I love it.
So Piranha Plant though, overall, cool. I was gonna say, hey, get it now, but by the time you hear this, you can't have it anymore. So that's sad. So it'll come as a paid DLC later. You'll get it eventually.
I hope by the time you hear this, you can play All-Star mode.
Fingers crossed. Get on that, Sakurai. So then, let's see. Next up on the itinerary, we have some rumors from Nikkei, who I mentioned before is a Japanese. They publish sales figures. They are a legitimate publication, so these rumors carry a little bit more weight than usual. And also because it's the end of Nintendo's about to have a meeting with investors like a couple hours after recording, and so stuff starts floating around this time always. But we mentioned last year a Switch revision might be coming this year.
Mm-hmm.
Nikkei is saying that they have more specifics, and that it's going to be a smaller, cheaper, more handheld version coming out this year, which is interesting.
I want to rant about this real quick. I think a lot of people take this and think, oh, 2DS happened. That means they're probably removing the Joy-Con. They are not removing the Joy-Con from the Nintendo. Like, mark it down. I am going to put it.
Like, wasn't one of the main features and selling points for the HD Rumble?
Well, I mean, HD Rumble, I don't think that matters much at all. HD Rumble is stupid. But when you look at the selling points of the Switch, right? Number one, Super Mario Party just sold 5 million units in a single quarter, which is crazy in of itself. But they are not going to break compatibility with a huge game like Super Mario Party. That's just not happening, okay? And I think people talk about gimmicks or whatever, but I do think the whole detachable two players out of the box thing is a selling point for the system. It helps sell things like Mario Kart. That's why Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is able. Mario Kart obviously has a lot of things going for it, but one of the things that definitely helps is that out of the box 2-player setup. You know, so I don't think the Joy-Con are going anywhere. But that said, I do expect this thing to be cheaper. It'll be probably. I think this is a good year for a price cut. $249 would make sense. If you look at the Wii, we got a price cut in year 3. So it makes perfect sense to do a price cut this year. Something that's on the back end for Nintendo, not something we could see, but something that's just cheaper to manufacture, you know? Something that maybe, and I don't know how much smaller it would be. I don't expect it really to be that much smaller. But you know, I think overall this thing is just going to replace the current model, which means it won't look actually functionally that much different than the current iteration. At least that's
Did they actually come out with details about what the new...
just cheaper and smaller. That's all we know.
Cheaper and smaller?
That's what the Nikkei says.
Oh, wait, what, fucking smaller? I like how... Excuse me. How fucking...
Oh my God.
My voice lost on the surprise. The shock. How, if I'm already, the Joy-Cons are uncomfortably small. If it goes even smaller, how the fuck am I supposed to hold them?
The same way you would have probably held your 3DS, I guess.
Well, I think there's room to make the system smaller without touching the Joy-Con, I guess. I mean, the Switch does have pretty big bezels on the side. So maybe if you get into that a little bit, I think there's probably ways you can make it smaller without actually affecting the Joy-Con.
Changing,
punch.
yeah. But I think it's interesting just because I think it shows a little bit of awareness. Because I mean, the Switch is weird because it is this weird fusion of handheld and console. That they're also aware of the general trends. This is probably going to be Switch's best-selling year. It's going to have a bunch of stuff that hits a wider market, like Pokemon and Animal Crossing, especially kids. Good to have a cheaper, smaller thing for the kids, right?
Targeting the kids.
Yeah, it's like kids. It's a more female audience that's going to come in this year.
Yeah,
you know. So having something that plays to a wider crowd makes perfect sense for this year.
I have a theory that they might just reduce the size of it and also get rid of the dock just to make it more portable. Because you have Pokemon coming out and you have Animal Crossing and stuff like that. So I feel as though that might be more appealing to kids, and they might just capitalize on it, just making it just more of a portable thing with the smaller, cheaper version.
I mean, of the Joy-Con and the dock, I think the dock are way more likely
Yeah.
to get cut.
Yeah. I think I can see the arguments for cutting the dock. I still kind of don't think it will. If anything, I wonder if they would offer maybe not. I don't know. I think, but the dock is definitely the one thing that would probably be on the highest priority to cut. If anything, definitely would make the packaging smaller, so that
Yeah.
that would. But
Well, if they're planning to keep both versions, then yeah, I can totally see that happening. But if they're gonna get rid of the older model and this new model is replacing it, like for good, I don't see them getting rid of the dock.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
have
I
to
think
keep that. They have to keep to be able to either go portable or main console to TV.
Yeah.
I think that it's just a big enough selling point. The whole it's a home console and a handheld that like I don't know how much realistically cutting the dock saves them. You know, it's a piece of plastic. I doubt it costs them much. You know, so like
Yeah, but how else are they going to connect to the TV?
no. That's
then?
what I mean. I mean that's why they should keep the dock because like it doesn't
Alright.
really.
If you
cost
cut the
them
dock,
that
it would
much to
probably save you like
manufacture.
$10 on manufacturing. You know, like it's
Yeah.
not a particularly elaborate piece of machinery. Is the thing. So you know, who knows? The Switcher revision continues to be this weird mystery of a thing because the Switch doesn't immediately scream like, "What do you do to change it?" But I mean, we'll
Yeah,
find
like
out.
I can't really see like how can they improve its design,
Yeah, which is funny because I mean that's sort of where they
like in
always
big
went.
ways. Like they can probably do a better way of designing the actual Joy Cons themselves. But other than that, like
Yeah.
It's definitely the best like base system for a handheld we've had in a long time. You know, like I think if you look at
Yeah.
the original models of a lot of Nintendo handhelds, there was clear room for improvement. Right?
The DS is this weird obelisk.
Oh,
looking
the
thing.
OG one?
We don't
Yeah.
talk about the
First
DS.
DS.
We don't
Yeah.
talk
Yeah.
about the DS.
But like the Switch doesn't have that same like like oh this is obviously what they're gonna fix. So who knows what it'll look like?
Yeah,
but
it's already
I-
sleek and lean, so it would be interesting to see how it evolves from there.
maybe smaller
Even
even means
sleeker.
maybe smaller even means like slimmer though, right? I
How?
don't like it. Maybe it doesn't necessarily.
How?
course,
Yeah.
I mean,
You gotta have the fan. It's the problem.
seen
it's just going to be a
tablets?
piece of paper.
But I mean, tablets get pretty slim already. You know, I don't know if you've seen.
Tablets
like,
get slim, but the
iPads.
Switch has a fan in it, which is the biggest difference between it and like an iPad. You know, like that's where
Yeah,
the
but I
difference
wonder
comes
if
from.
they can make it efficient enough where in handheld mode it wouldn't need a
Be
fan or
careful with
something.
making it too thin, especially if they're going to be models that are like geared more towards kids. You're going to be smashing that shit. Come on.
Yeah. I'm just throwing things out.
Yeah,
maybe
the thing is, we have wild speculation because there's so
The
there's so many
case is
different
made of
places that it could-
titanium.
Oh
They're just
boy,
gonna sell you-
unbreakable.
They're just
Um,
gonna sell you Joy-Cons that you can attach to your phone.
No.
Your phone is your
Possible.
Switch.
Your phone is your Switch.
Nintendo going mobile.
Reggie pulls out his phone on
Oh,
stage
no.
and starts playing. Yeah. So then I guess another thing from the Nikkei rumors. This is once again a little bit of a learning lesson for everyone. That always be careful of first translations, because at first the headline was Nintendo is making a deluxe online service that will be focused at core gamers, and people took it as they're gonna charge for even more for online. Then someone else came through a second pass and translated it and said that's not what this says, guys. So instead, it's just Nintendo is looking to expand the current paid online features, which is good, and also something we probably are going to see relatively soon with the SNES games and a bunch of other stuff. Get on it.
Yeah, I don't have high expectations on that front. I just expect that means Super Nintendo games are coming.
Yeah, but I mean that's better. It's better than like, hey, secretly there's this $40 service where they're probably charging you for
Oh no, yeah.
N64
I
games.
mean, it's nice.
Oh
to
yeah,
see them.
I'd pay.
In
for
any
it.
way they can, I would like them to make that $20 more valuable. Whatever it is. Like,
Yeah.
The more bang I get for my buck, the better.
Oh,
Well,
here's
that's
a
what's
weird
happening,
thing.
So
Thing we learned from the quarter release, by the way. This is just a little bit of conventional wisdom doesn't work sometimes. Ever since the paid online started, online games and digital games have been selling better on Switch. So everyone said, Splatoon's going to dry up because of paid online. In fact, there's more people playing Splatoon than ever before because of paid online. It happened with the PlayStation 4, TOO. And so it's that weird thing where just conventional wisdom sometimes doesn't work. Turns out paid online makes people play more online, not less. So
Well,
Because
that
they
kind
gotta
of makes
get
sense.
their
yeah.
fucking money.
Yeah.
you got to get your money's worth, and people pay for online. So
I think there was a lot of concern with Splatoon in particular because, like, out of all the games that Nintendo has, I think most of them, like, even if you didn't have online, you would get your money's worth. Splatoon is worthless without a paid internet subscription.
Yeah.
You know? Like, I think people had this concern that, oh, like, are the legs gonna stop? But, like, it had a great quarter, so.
Especially with the good expansion.
Such a great quarter that they lied about not making more stuff for this game.
That's the best kind of lie. You know it.
Yeah. They can't
just
stop
can't
themselves.
It is so funny, and this has been a thing since the first game, right? Where
Yeah.
they say, we're gonna stop making content up until this point. And then that point comes across, and we're like, actually, we want to put a little bit more in this game. And it's all been free. It's all, it's like, it's really wonderful to see that, like, consistently them being like, you know what, just a little bit more. We're gonna add a little bit more.
That is true. So I think that overall, looking at, there's more stuff from that financial release that's interesting here or there, but we don't get too much into it. Basically, know that they're doing okay right now. But that is the news for this week, and now it is time to transition, my boys, to talking about a single video game that we may rank high or low on the list.
The list.
There you go. That last week, Muzamil brought a game he didn't play a lot of called The Last of Us. It did well. Good for The Last of Us. Shocker, I know that people think that game's good.
Yeah.
Ended up just below Ocarina of Time.
I was just trying to inflate my average. That's
True.
Oh, boy.
Number 8 on the list, by the way. And this week, Brandon, you're up.
Hey. Hello.
Follow us along in the page bin. The list is there.
Hey!
Master Noah,
Make
the master
make
of the
sure you
pace
do
bin.
it. Yes. Paceman Master Noah, thank you very much. We appreciate you. All right, so my turn. We touched on it a little bit earlier in the podcast that the 3DS is pretty much done, right?
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, rest in peace.
So rest in peace, 3DS. But over the last couple weeks, I've actually been playing my 3DS
Mhm.
because I was like,
I
hey,
know what's coming.
I gotta give my 3DS a little bit of love. All right,
Mhm.
I kind of missed it, so I was like, I'm gonna play the 3DS. I don't want to replay. I want to play something new. Okay, so I started playing a game.
Okay.
Noah, also, buddy, I lied to you a couple weeks ago. You asked me what I was playing. I told you I was playing Detective Pikachu. I was not playing Detective Pikachu on my 3DS. No.
Scandal.
Betrayal.
Treachery.
I know. I lied to my best friend.
Disgusting.
Told him I was playing.
Whoa. He's your best friend?
We gotta move past it, Saf. It hurts me too, but we have to keep going.
You have no best friend,
I'm
Sam.
dying in suspense. What's the game?
Well, Muzzy, you didn't get to talk a lot last week. I feel like you might want to talk
Oh,
about
God
this
damn
game.
it.
Because I played a game
God damn it. I know what this is.
that I really should have got around to a long time ago. And that game
this game?
is Kid Icarus Uprising.
Oh, no. There we go.
So,
Knives out.
so
Can I say something before we start?
No.
Go.
I mean, yes, no, yeah. This is Moosey's second favorite game of all time.
Yeah, this is for a good 6 years. This was my favorite game of all time. Breath of the Wild only kind of dethroned it, and even then, I'm still like, I don't know. I really love Kid Icarus.
Kinda.
Look, this game means a lot to me. This game means a lot to me. It came at a perfect time for me. Right, I was kind of going through a rough time. This game came. It brought me so much joy with the wonderful characters in this game that really felt, because I play a lot of Nintendo games. That's no secret.
I thought you were
right?
going to say one thing.
I'm sorry. I
Yeah.
really like Kid Icarus.
You didn't mention how long
I
that one
picked the
thing is gonna
game.
be.
I thought I got the intro here.
I'm sure, but this game, I'm sorry, I'm taking it from you because it.
No. All right,
Brandon, you go first, and then I'll go.
We're gonna have a long conversation about this probably.
Sorry, Saf.
So, yeah. I've been playing this game. The plan has finally come to light here. I've been playing this game in secret for the last couple weeks.
Wow.
Damn.
Wow.
I'm upset.
I
That
knew my pick
explains why I
coming
was
up, and
hearing
said,
Pit randomly talking in your room a couple of days back.
I wonder what the alternative would have been.
Also, he has like Google Home things that talk to you, and it's just Pit.
Yeah, it's true. So, Brandon, what do you think about Kid Icarus Uprising?
Yeah. You know what? I gotta say, I liked it. I liked it a lot.
We did it.
We got there.
4 years. We finally got
this
it.
game. I enjoyed this game. It was fun. I thought about playing it with headphones on, so I know it couldn't hear me. But then the game is just a blast to play. You want to play it at full volume.
You want to play
because you want to play it at full volume because there's so much going on here in this game.
Mm-hmm. Chock full.
There's a lot, and honestly, to think that this game came out in 2012, and this is what I think, one of the things that amazed me the most about playing it now in 2019 is this was a very early 3DS game.
Yep.
And it really pushes the boundaries of what the fucking 3DS can do.
Yep.
I was like, holy shit, man! Some of this stuff, the things that were going on, the graphics, the set pieces, how much action was going on the screen at one time, it was really impressive to me for not only just the 3DS in general, but to think about how early of a 3DS game this was. I was like, wow, like this is, if not the best, one of the best 3DS games that I've played. Like just in terms of graphics, this game, the presentation is incredible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I will give it that. It blew me away.
Totally.
Just the presentation, the acting, the voice acting, the humor, just the set pieces that you go through in the different worlds, the enemies, the bosses was just super fucking cool.
Character designs were pretty amazing. Like,
some of the enemies hit or miss, but the main characters, the main cast, were all great.
Thumbs up. Hades is great.
Hades.
Yes, Hades was awesome.
Lovable
Viridian was cool. They're all great. I really the banner between them while you're playing the game.
By the way, it's a little late now, but kind of spoilers. So.
Yeah, but whatever. The game's 7 years old. But so every level basically split up into two different parts, and here's where the game gets
the good part and the bad part.
The good part, the bad part. This is how I listen. There's two parts. There's a part where you're on rails. It's almost like Star Fox, arcade shoot 'em up on rails type game. Oh, fucking awesome!
Yes, indeed.
I loved it. I wish the whole fucking game was like that.
So
There was one level where the whole level was that, and I was like, "This is the best level in the game because this is all it is," and I fucking love it. Then you get the on the ground part, where the game loses a little bit of steam. All right,
it's a little rough.
Biggest problem. You play as Pit. You control him with the circle pad, and you aim and move the camera. And this is the biggest fucking problem. You aim and move the camera with the touchscreen.
Yep.
There it is.
You have to do both, and it sucks.
It definitely sucks.
I will say,
I don't think
all the rumors, it's
bad.
There's some parts. It's bad.
I
It's
wish
not-
you
it's
told
not
me
good.
though, because then I would have been like, Brandon, turn up the sensitivity because it helps a lot, and it's a very quick thing to do.
I was very disappointed because I don't know why I thought this. For some reason I thought, I'm playing on the new 3DS. I get to use that little C-stick thing. No, I
No.
can't.
3DS nipple.
For some reason I thought that. Maybe you could, but you can't.
No, you gotta use their little stand.
This little stand I did not have because I bought it digitally. I gotta say, all the rumors I heard about this game, about it breaking your hand off, are a little bit overblown.
Yeah.
I had to play it in a weird way, but it didn't physically hurt my hand as bad as everybody else. I played it in short bursts. I'd play it in the morning.
Did you actually start to feel sore at some point?
If you played it in short
only
bursts, then it should be fine.
Not really, because I was playing it in short bursts. I didn't play it marathon it, so I never really felt that sore. I played it laying down with a pillow on my chest, with the 3DS kind of resting on the pillow, but the back of the 3DS resting on my chest, but also the pillow.
Sure.
So it was pretty comfortable. It wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
I gotta say the ground parts really the worst part of the game, in my opinion, by far. It was just parts where it was just stupid. With having to control Pit, he's really jumpy.
He'll
you try to
dash.
move him
He'll
around.
dash around.
And
He dashes
Because the
too
circle pad,
quick.
the circle pad especially makes it a little hard because you
Yeah,
move,
there's
but
parts
then,
where you have to be precise, and you're just like running into fucking walls of fire and stuff, you know, and you're like, God damn it, you know, I can, you barely tap it, and Pit like fucking jumps into this fucking fall, like firewall or electric trap, and you're like, come on.
Yeah.
And also, this really pissed me off. You can't run forever. He has like a stamina.
He does get tired.
And
yeah.
It's so stupid because there's parts where it's just like long running, and all of a sudden you get punished for it, and Pitts like has to stop and be like tired. I'm like, this should not be a thing. This is stupid as fuck because he has like 2 speeds: fucking running balls to the wall or like slow like little crawl hop.
He has like a gallop.
I'm like,
it's very strange.
Yeah, I'm like, can you fucking go? And then if he does go, you get tired, and it's like, what the fuck, game? There's also parts where you kind of want to go back, but they put these invisible walls behind you, and they're like, no, dog, you can't go back
really
anymore. And you're like,
to me because I'm left-handed, cursed by God, some say, and so
it's a handicap.
and so I played with the base buttons. That's how you navigate if you're left-handed.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, and I don't know how they made me be able to walk because there are parts where you're supposed to walk. You're supposed to like sort of move slowly. I forget how they do that because there's no like
I want to say
analog.
with the button controls, it was like how in a 2D game you would double tap to run.
I think it was
wanna say
double
that's how,
tap. In some ways, I think that's maybe better actually because I
you could
dash
actually
only when I
control the
wanted
dash
to.
better with that setup. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, this is like, you know, I guess we should get, because we've talked about this for a while. What are you looking at right now, Brandon, so we can look at the list and then talk about the game itself?
Let me just pull the list up on my phone.
Good.
So I don't have to click. It's it. Man, I can't believe I get to put this, well, at least, you know, say where I want first. I took it from Muzzy, and it feels real good.
Oh, it definitely does. I remember the feeling.
At least he's
Yeah, but
here. At least he's here this time.
He was there last time.
Brandon isn't malicious.
Must be nice to be able to be here to defend one of your favorite games.
I want to put
Other
it...
M's one of your favorite games?
No, this is a Left 4 Dead 2 reference.
Oh, I thought it was Other
I
M's.
want to put it... Okay.
I was like, no, oh god.
I want to put it above Left 4 Dead.
Oh, you have no
I don't
idea.
wanna put it above Left 4 Dead 2. I want to put it below Fire Emblem Awakening.
Okay.
Too high.
That's no. Well, all right.
No, I think that's about appropriate, actually.
That's too high.
No,
I think that. Can I? Okay. I think it is one of the best 3DS games. Flat
We
out.
know what you think.
Right?
Well, no, but he has every right to say it.
Listeners do not know what I think.
You
okay.
already mentioned this.
Well, you had the first word.
I said like a paragraph.
It's whatever. Go. Just go. Just say what you're going to say.
Christ,
He would be
man.
done at this point.
I just think that like this game offers a lot of things that usual Nintendo games don't. I think that the lively cast of characters is really nothing like Nintendo has done. I think that the air missions are incredibly well designed. I will agree that like the ground missions, not just in control, but I think in mission structure itself, could get a little tedious. You know, there was definitely points in the game where you kind of felt like this is dragging on for too long, or in some cases, this is asking too much out of me because a lot's going on and you don't have much control over it. So
Yeah,
I
That's
think we
half the
should-
game,
And
right?
that's half the
I think-
game.
No, but
Well,
I don't think that
I don't-
those
I don't think
moments
all of
are
it's garbage,
that.
though.
It's not the entirety
No.
of the land sections. I think that is exaggerating.
That's
a
not-
No,
lot.
there's some fun parts with the land section.
Yeah, there are
when
some-
you get
yeah.
to use the robot, the big robot, that's fucking fun.
That's cool.
That's
Yeah, that's
very-
a lot of fun.
That's
you know,
quite.
um,
Yeah, you only use it like what 3-4 times during the whole game.
It's still pretty damn
still
fun.
cool. I think attributing all the ground sections to all being dog crap is not.
there's
bad.
many like bombastic sets that happen throughout the game that are just so much fun to go through. And then I think that something that we didn't touch upon, Brandon fairly did not touch upon because he didn't get to experience it, but me and Saf did at least. The multiplayer is a lot of fun. I think that this game is jam-packed with content, not just on the single-player side, because this is a very long story with many different... You can play this game in many ways, because there's 9 different weapon types, but you can... They're so different that, like, truly, like, playing through them each time is...
I
The
believe
weapons
it
are
was-
very different in a way that I like a lot.
Yeah, I believe they were described more
Kinda.
like I don't know, like more like characters than they would be like just weapons, just because of how varied and different they are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sakurai himself
Using the Aura Club is
described it
completely
as, like,
different than
characters
using
in
like,
Smash, you know?
God, I tried using a club for one level. I wanted to quit like halfway through.
I like the War Club.
What the fuck is this bullshit?
I liked it.
It was so dumb as fuck. I couldn't hit anything unless it came near me on the fucking
It's a
parts
melee
where.
weapon.
Luckily for you.
But I
It
think
was
that's,
awful.
I think that's what's nice about it though. Like much like in a fighting game, right? Like you're not gonna find every character to be something you like playing as, but there's weapons that you will find to your playstyle, and there's a lot there. Like there's many different ways you can play through this game. But and the multiplayer itself is also a ton of fun. Like this, just from a content perspective, this game is packed. The story is fantastic. The music is great. Like it's just an all-around super solid package. You know, which is why I think that it should be, I think, near Fire Emblem Awakening, which is also what I consider one of the best 3DS games. Right under it, actually, I would be perfect with that.
It should be
Fire Emblem Awakening's definitely better.
below or above the Wonderful 101.
No.
Yeah.
No, the peaks of the story of the cast in Kid Icarus Uprising is one of my favorite casts in any Nintendo game, and really any video game. The arcs, while the gameplay can
For
be
Wonderful 101.
No, I think it's a completely
Yes.
different
What do
thing.
you mean?
No, there's so much. I mean, there's some great stuff in the Wonderful 101 to be sure, but I have such an attachment to Pit and Viridi into these characters. It's like having defined character traits that are really fun and wonderful, and like progress and have story and arcs to them. And like the game, it escalates in a way that's like constantly throwing you in different directions. That I think,
And-
just from a design perspective, is fun.
And you think the Wonderful 101 doesn't do that?
I think the Wonderful 101 is more simplistic in that stuff. I think that, like, you know, it's Wonder Red is like he is the hero guy. Blue, they're playing within character archetypes in ways that are fun and charming, for sure. But like, I wouldn't say that I feel as strongly about like Wonder Black as I do about, you know, like Pyron and you know,
Not
two
even know
comparable
Pyron is.
characters. Pyron's great. He's this weird little side character during the whole like alien invasion part. He has his own little arc to him that's fun.
Anyway, the way I say the reason why I say that is because they both have similar problems with their controls, but they both have pretty good characters. You know, really good. They have some cool moments,
Great music.
stuff like that.
Great set
That's a
pieces.
decent comparison, actually. Yeah.
But
I think Brandon. I don't know if you want to chime in here because you're the one who placed it right below Fire Emblem in the first place. But I do think that like clearly Brandon himself did not have much issue. He like sure the controls are not perfect, but like he said it himself, they're overblown. He hates the Wonderful 101 controls, right?
He barely played them. What are you talking about?
I played it enough,
to bounce off it, right? Like he played it enough to think
he
that
has
this
to
is
play
not
it completely.
this is not a thing he's willing to
But
do.
and then on the other hand, though, like for comparison, like Brandon, I assume you did it on purpose, but you put it above Danganronpa. That's a game you like a lot, right?
Yeah.
And I think because the overall package of Kid Icarus really is just incredibly solid. Like it's really just a few design instances that cause frustration, but the overall package is incredible. It really is, and I think it absolutely
Yeah.
deserves to be where it is. The highs of
Look,
Kid
there's a lot of
Icarus-
things about that game that I should like really don't like that for me personally I don't like, that I should rank it lower. But I think just how good and how fun, you know, how much I enjoyed the story itself, how much I enjoyed the banner between the characters, and how much I enjoyed even just the rail
The
parts.
rail shooting part.
I was like, I love this.
Also,
Those parts were fucking great. Like, I do wish. Do I wish that I could have got a whole game of just that? Yes.
also, you need to consider as well
Uh.
with it comparing between Wonderful 101 and Kid Icarus Uprising. One of them needed a peripheral to be played properly.
They didn't need the
Yeah.
peripheral.
I didn't play it.
Yeah, I didn't play with
Would
the
they
peripheral
really
either.
release it, like, or like recommend it that much if it wasn't
Did
needed
it
or
also-
important?
Did anyone here who played that use the peripheral?
I did actually. Yeah.
So
I
one,
didn't.
so
well,
one
I
against
didn't
three.
have it.
So because Saf, I know
How
Saf
many
did.
people played the game?
Or four. I'm sorry. Will also played the game.
Yeah, hi.
Will, Brandon, me, and Saf.
Well, so the thing is too with Kid Icarus, like I could take or leave the whole difficulty scale thing. Like I fucking hate that shit.
sure.
So like to me, it didn't like. I was like, whatever, you know, leave it at 4 every time.
Yeah.
It's like, who cares? Like, I don't know. And also, it's so Sakurai. The game is just fucking. It's 100% Sakurai. it's got like trophies.
Yeah.
With the same kind of like gamble system that you throw them in like these little eggs in this launcher, and you just and the more you get, the less chance you have of getting a new one. So you have to throw multiple in there to increase your chance. Like it's kind of like the gumball machine. It's got a fucking challenge board, of course it does, where you complete all these challenges and unlocks a picture, and you can use things to break ones you don't want to do. It has a lot to it, and it's all very Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is stuff I couldn't give a shit about. The weapons, I found a good weapon I liked, and I kind of stuck with it. I tried a couple other ones and said, this is shit. And I
what was your weapon choice? I need to know.
Well, at first I was using a staff for a while.
That was awesome. The staff, yeah.
Yeah, and then eventually I settled with a bow. I really like the bow a lot.
Cool.
Yeah. I tried like a couple different things. I also like the ones, I can't remember what they were called, the ones that had like two things like floating next to you.
The orbs?
Oh, the orbs.
The orbs, those were cool too.
Can I? Sorry, I'm gonna.
I hated I hated the ones that were like melee.
Sure.
With no range.
Which is funny though,
because when
Will
you're playing
did like
the
those.
shoot 'em up.
I love those melee.
I hated them. I hate them so much.
I love this. I fell in love with the staff because there was this one point in the game, like chapter 6, where you fight Dark Pit, and there's this area that you have to go through where Dark Pit is standing up atop a cliff, firing at you, and if you had the staff, you could just aim it at Dark Pit.
You can snipe back at him.
And one hit him completely without having to go through that journey. And I fell in love with the staff completely after that. It's like, that is fucking brilliant. I love it so much. Like that became one of my favorite weapons in that game. But can I get my say, or do you have some other thing?
Go for it.
Go for it,
What are you
Safi.
gonna say?
So
Where do you think it goes?
here's the thing, right? Like everything that you said about this game, Brandon, I totally agree with, like 100%. Like the characters, the story, the visuals, the production values. I love that a lot. Like these characters, this entire world, this entire environment was so much fun to go through. Like it was something that I would constantly go back to and replay. The main issue, and I feel as though like I feel much more strongly about it, is that the control scheme just fucking is atrocious. It is awful. Like I can, like if it was like level 5, level 6, I can play through that game no problem, and I would be fine as long as I just keep pacing myself well. But like when it came to like harder levels, like I just could not play it because it's a murder on your hands, man. Just been trying to compensate for like the higher difficulty and the faster reaction time you need to beat this game.
A man with noted hands problems.
The man with noted hand problems as well, saying that
Apparently, it was like a good portion of the world had the same
that was
problem.
it.
So.
Well,
Yeah.
I think just for me, so the reason I would put it above Danganronpa is like I think I maybe genuinely like I like the cast probably equally with Danganronpa and Phoenix Wright's cast. I really think it's super strong in a way that I maybe it didn't hit other people as much, but I think that it plays well in enough portions of it to where I think it exceeds those games.
Mm-hmm. I want to put it.
And like I really
wanna
give
put
it
it
points for
below
ambition, you know?
Danganronpa.
Like
I kind of want to put it below Danganronpa, but above Wonderful 101. Like I want to put it below Danganronpa, that's for sure. Like I enjoy Danganronpa more than it.
I think it should definitely at least be above Animal Crossing and Nine-Hander, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I
For
can accept that. It needs to be higher than those two.
Mm-hmm.
Because like with shit, I had a point with fucking Wonderful 101 that I completely forgot. Shit, never mind. It'll come back to me later on. But there's a reason
well,
why I want to
Wonderful
put it
is much
above.
lower anyway, so I don't think like it's out of the question. I think only Ills is pushing for that.
I
so
don't
right.
think it's out of the question at all. I think it's right in the question. All right, I guess
Interesting.
Noah didn't play the game, right?
Right.
I didn't, but I don't support. I don't like to side with the game that has bad controls that cause in any way, shape, or form for like soreness or hurt on your fingers
Yeah,
or
but
hand.
I mean, you heard me. I've been playing it. I had no problems.
Yeah, but Saf did, and so it was like they made a
But
huge
also
story
Saf
about how they needed
Is
the
a person
peripheral.
who's noted to have hand problems.
Yeah, but
No,
after the fact,
I
though.
also didn't like the controls. It's
Alright, let's not, let's
I
not
think the Saf
over-exaggerate.
genuinely doesn't like the controls, and that's removed from his hand problems.
Yeah.
But I think that like even Moose, who thinks that if you don't understand the controls, then something's wrong with you mentally. he would admit that like there's clear issues.
No, but, like, I straight up said I think some of the design sections of the land require way more than it should have with that control scheme.
Oh yes, 100%.
Agree there.
Yeah, and so,
You know?
but I think that the parts that
it is serviceable enough for 80% of it. You know,
I thought you said half
think-
the game was on the ground.
Yeah, but it's not the entire ground sections where it's a problem.
that are always
Yeah,
a big
not-
problem. There's
not
there's
the entire
there are
ground
moments where-
section.
I don't know.
That's the
Every time I
problem,
came to a ground section, I knew I was dreading it because I just wanted to be in the air the whole time. I was just like, why do I have to play this ground
Yeah.
shit? I just want to be in the air.
But I
see
think
that.
the parts that are the
that's-
height of the game are high enough to where like clearly, I mean, Moose likes it a whole lot, but like Brandon and I and even Saf can say, hey, even though there are these clear issues, there is some stuff in here that is so good that it can outweigh those issues, right? Like,
Yeah, but you can't just
I thought-
you can't
That's
like
what I would say about
be able to
Wonderful
praise them and
101.
say like they're really good, but the issues are still issues. It's still there.
but I mean, it's art.
I'm
Like sometimes
recognizing
things,
Yeah,
it's not just a checklist.
Which is why I'll tell you why it's lower than Fire Emblem Awakening. You know, Fire Emblem Awakening is a much more even package. You know, that is a game that from beginning to end is fantastic. It's a game that I think the characters in Fire Emblem Awakening are fantastic. You know, I think that the gameplay is much more solid in general. Like it is a more even experience, and I think that while offering similar things that I like about Kid Icarus, which is why I would put Fire Emblem higher. But I don't think it should be lower than anything below it.
I mean, I can pretty much say all
That
those
about-
things about like I would
Yeah.
prefer to play. Well, actually, I can't really say.
Yeah, but you haven't played it, so like.
Well,
Yeah,
and
that's
even
the thing,
doing that
yeah.
thing.
But, like-
I mean,
But, like, for what you guys are
regardless-
telling me,
I mean,
for that-
we're arguing the fundamentals of the list is the thing, right? Like, obviously, if we think something should be higher or lower, then we think that we prefer one to the other. That's what we're doing here. But like,
Well, it already
I-
sounds like you guys have the numbers, so
well, I mean, do we? I mean, like, say, so where are we at right now? So I guess it's the five. It's the five of us. Then
I mean, okay. I mean, part of me would be okay with putting it underneath Danganronpa.
Dude,
Danganronpa-
Danganronpa has some
right,
mini
though?
games that are not fun.
No, I mean, yeah, no, Danganronpa is not a perfect game.
Yeah,
But also, Kid Icarus has some things that are not fun.
Sure.
I just played Danganronpa.
yeah.
Yeah, you just played Danganronpa. Do you think it is better or worse than Danganronpa?
It's worse than Danganronpa. I wanted to put
Okay,
it below Wonderful 101.
I mean, yeah. If he wanted to put it below it, he clearly, yeah.
Sure, but also at the same time, he could think Danganronpa is worse than the Wonderful
No, I
101.
mean,
That's the nature of the beast.
It's really good.
Stole your line, Will.
It's fine.
The only
Okay,
thing
so, I
I
mean,
well, I don't know.
I mean,
So let's just
again,
get a
I don't
tally
have
right
much
now,
weight
the
on the where I can put it because I haven't really played it. Only from what I've seen and what people say.
Yeah.
That's all I got. So
Look, I came into it being like, I'm gonna be a little asshole, right? I'm gonna be a little son of a bitch. I'm gonna undercut Muzzy, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But here I am being like, wow, I was a little bit
He
surprised.
didn't commit.
they
The game was good. The game was pretty
Honesty.
fucking good.
There's an honesty there I can respect.
I feel
I
bad
can
for
definitely
so are we-
see
Brent,
like
are you- where are
the
you- are you
appealing.
moved?
I could definitely see the appeal of the characters and like I could like hear some like most of the dialogue coming from fucking Brandon's room the other day, and it sounded like it was a joy. Like
Yeah.
was having a good time, and it was
It's
an
a funny
enjoyable
game.
experience. I
It's
could
like
tell.
genuine.
No, I'm not discounting any of the stuff with the characters. I think the characters are great, and I really like the end. I believe like the end section was pretty good, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, like all the flying parts are fun.
Yeah.
Just
The thing that I always prefer with Kid Icarus Uprising versus the Wonderful 101 is like the best I can tell you. The thing that I fell in love with Wonderful 101 were the set pieces. Like they would always escalate and make it crazier and a lot more insane, and you get excited and hyped over the shit that you do. But with Kid Icarus Uprising, there was a lot more to it than just set pieces. Like there was a lot more character to it. There's a lot more depth. There's a lot more, as mentioned previously, humor and charm. There's so much more going for Kid Icarus Uprising in my eyes than there was for Wonderful 101. That's why I always
I
consider it.
highly doubt that. Oh man.
All right, how about this? I think it should go at number 30 underneath Danganronpa.
Cool.
I mean, so here's the thing.
I still prefer above below Fire Emblem, but like if it's below Danganronpa, I'm not gonna be mad. Like that's fair. I think that like if like Brandon, if you think like that that Danganronpa overall is a more solid package, like I'm not gonna be like, oh, like
Yeah, okay. Then I'm fine with that. Actually.
But like I do think that like I think it is fair to say like if we want to talk about like uneven packages with Danganronpa, I do think that like a lot of the mini games do detract from that experience overall. I think that Danganronpa, it is fair to say, is not the most engaging game overall. You know, like the part I would almost prefer it if it was a pure visual novel versus the stuff they put in there. You know.
Which mini games?
I don't necessarily agree
I
with
mean,
that all the
you
way.
can choose
But-
to, like, if you're talking about the mini games in regards to trials, you can choose to like adjust how you want the trials to play out. Like, you don't have to do those mini games if you don't want to. Like, if you're specifically talking about the
play like
trials,
on easy mode or something.
oh, you can go for easy mode, or you can just go like. There's two sets of difficulty. There's one that in regard. Oh shit, I can't remember.
I don't know what mini games you guys are talking about. Like which ones?
I think he's talking about the trials.
Those
Like,
apparently just completely missed them.
The Hangman one is, I think, is the one that goes to my brain first.
that one was so
Yeah.
easy. What was wrong with that?
It is easy.
But it's also like not engaging.
I'm trying to.
It's
I'm trying to think of all the ones. I can't even remember them. There's the Hangman one. There's
Shooting the thing and
God.
then the little rhythm one. The
I'm
rhythm
gonna
one was pretty easy, too.
I may cut this off here a little bit because we're an hour 10 and I want to save
Yeah,
Seth
yeah.
some struggles. But so I mean I'm fine with it below below Danganronpa. Sorry, Moose and Mill.
No, I trust your
Yeah, I can live
opinions,
with
so
that. Yeah.
go for it.
Okay. So there we go. Number 30 on the list, Kid Icarus Uprising. 28, Fire Emblem Awakening, surrounding it. 28, Fire Emblem Awakening. 29, Danganronpa Trigger, Happy Havoc. 30, Kid Icarus Uprising. 31, Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. 32, Einhander. That is the list. That is the podcast. Noah, once again, because you did not have the chance to engage on the list, once you can get the final phrase this week. A rare combo. But while you think on that, plugs. Hey, guess what got uploaded the previous week? The Game Club. Mystical Ninja starring Goemon. Give it a listen. It's a pretty fun conversation. You know what? If you didn't see that in your feeds, that may be because you're not subscribed to us on iTunes or your podcast service of choice, or following us on Twitter at twitter.com/Jump Up Supercast. You can also see more stuff that we do every week at twitch.tv/Jump Up Supercast, where at least Brandon will be on stream every week playing one of his New Year's resolution games. You're right now, Xenoblade
How's the
Chronicles.
Xenoblade going?
How's the Xenoblade going, Brandon?
Xenoblade Chronicles. That's what I'm playing. I'll be playing it for a very long time.
But like,
So-
yeah, but
Are you
how's
enjoying
going
it?
so far? Just
Are
a
you
quick,
enjoying it?
a quick
Yeah,
note.
it's good. It's fun. It's
Okay.
fun. It's a good
good
game.
game.
I'm liking it so far.
I've-
Maybe it's better than Xenoblade 2.
Have you
Maybe.
reached Scar Plains yet?
Have I?
God
The
damn
answer
it.
is
Okay, that's fine. so there, that is Instagram.com/Jump Up Supercast. Also, where you can find us at Facebook.com/Jump Up Supercast. They're owned by the same company. Did you know that? So that is the podcast for this week. That is where you can find us. And now, Noah, your final phrase.
I hope one day Pit can learn to read.
Good.
Good. I like that.